Now, we have already seen an example of listing migrations within our Django application, but I wanted to formalize that in a short tutorial to discuss some of the different options that we didn't mention regarding listing migrations. So in Django, listing migrations provides a way to view the migration files that have been created for your project app. You don't need this project code base to run this command. Just run it on any project you have if you want to follow along. But to show all the migrations for all your apps, you're going to just specify the show migrations after manage.py. And you can see in this example, I've mocked up some migrations. You can see there's a number of different migrations that have been performed. Now, it can be a little bit more useful to actually see the show migrations for the specific app. So here we have an inventory app. So I can have a look at all the migrations for a specific app. So here what we're looking at is a history of all the database schema changes in our Django project. So it's providing information about which migrations have been applied and which are pending. And it does that by indicating that the migration has been applied to the database with an X. So next to this number 001 here, you can see that the box here between the square brackets is empty. So that indicates that the migration has not been applied and is pending. You just have to take for granted that there will be an X there if we were to run the migrate command. That will indicate that the migration has been applied to the database. Now, there are some interesting options we have here. So I've gone ahead and I've migrated the data. So when I migrate the data, I've got the option now of utilizing the verbosity option to include more information when I list details about the migrations. So if, for example, we go ahead and show migrations inventory, we can set the verbosity level from 0 to 3. So if I go for 3, the highest level, and you can see that in actual fact now, in addition to the names of the migration, I'm given some additional information at this point, and that is when it was applied. There is an additional layer here, an extra level, if you like, of information. So what we can do is use the P flag, the plan, and this is going to allow us to see more information about the migrations. So let's take a look at how to utilize that. So at this point, we're showing quite a lot of information on the terminal. So in actual fact, we don't need to actually show it in the terminal. What we can do is we can then send it to an output file. So in this case, I've specified the right chevron after the P and the verbosity level 3. So if we are going to use this plan, then ideally we're using verbosity level 2 or 3 to output the extended information. And then we're going to grab all that data and place it in a file. And that sometimes can be easier to view when you're debugging or want to learn a little bit more about the migrations that have taken place. So I'll go ahead and run that. And you can see that a file has been created with some additional information. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about the show migration options, then of course, by all means, you can simply use the help option if you haven't already learned how to do that already. So help here, that will give you more information about how to output this. And you can even force the color. So you can have a little bit of color potentially in the output. So that really covers the basics of utilizing the show migrations. So I didn't mention, but you can read here, the utilizing plan level 2 or above, we get the direct migration dependencies or return the direct migration dependencies and any reverse dependencies. So it just allows us to have that additional information which might be useful regarding the order, there we go, of the migrations. We are slowly getting to some more juicy tutorials. Next up, we'll take a look at the migration file anatomy. But once we've done that, we can then talk a little bit about run SQL, creating custom SQL commands. And then we can start to look and run through some exercises, looking at how to incorporate SQL and modifying the migration files.